everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to deal with homesickness when you are a student abroad. Studying abroad is an amazing experience because you meet new people. It's a new chapter in your life where a lot of the things that you do are on your own account, and you also create so many new experiences. But with all of those great things, there are also many difficulties that people don't really talk about. And most of the times when you're homesick, unless you have a private jet, you just have to sit down and deal with that sad longing feeling in your chest that I've grown to know after being abroad for almost 6 years now. So I'm going to share with you guys some of the tips that I apply when dealing with homesickness, and I really hope that it helps you. Let's get into it. One of the easiest things that you can do is to create a photo wall. So basically what I do when I move places is that I select a few photographs of people, places, experiences that have made me feel loved and that I remember, and I print them out and I just put it up on a wall in my room. And for me, this really does wonders because being able to visualize or like being able to have those people that you love in front of you on your wall makes a whole lot of difference, especially when you are feeling lonely on that particular day. The next thing that you can do is to send postcards. Now, because I've moved a couple of times throughout the 6 years, I try to send my family a postcard of that new city. And honestly, think about it. When was the last time that you received a letter or a postcard? Honestly, at this point, it's like the only person hitting me up in my letterbox is the delivery service or the bank or the electricity company. Which is why I think it's nice for a change to receive like a handwritten note from a loved one. We as a society today depend so much on technology, and technology is great, especially when it comes to keeping in touch with people, with your loved ones. But we sort of lost this flair of writing letters, sending postcards, and there are so many pretty postcards out there. And also because this gesture is so rare, people tend to appreciate it a lot more. For example, when I went home during the summer holiday, I saw my postcard up on the fridge, on my mom's refrigerator, and I found it to be really sweet. But they're not going to print out your text message and put it up on the fridge. So you see, things like that can make a difference in like communicating with your loved ones. My favorite way to cope with homesickness is food. So if you're a foodie like me, then this should help you pretty well. Before you leave abroad, bring a few snacks or cooking paste or anything that can sort of remind you of food and that comfort at home. For example, when I go back from my holidays in Malaysia, I leave like literally half of my baggage empty just so that I can come back with snacks and with curry paste and all sorts of seasonings. I would show you my favorite snack, which is muruku, which is a type of Indian chip. But obviously, I have eaten every single bit of it, so I'm nothing to show you guys. But I feel like it is so reassuring, especially when you have a bad day. You just come back and you see a snack from home waiting for you. And it's just that moment where you eat it and you're like, this is so good. This is home. So 100% recommend this tip. Bring whatever food item that reminds you of home to wherever it is that you're going. Next up is what's probably the most common tactic when dealing with homesickness, which is scheduling your calls. Especially if you're moving to a country with a different time zone, it is often quite complicated to communicate with your loved ones back home. Especially since you will have your own schedule going on and your family has their own thing going on. So it's usually hard to find a time that works for everyone. So what I usually do is I hit my family members up during the week hey, are you free this Sunday for a call? And then you work that time zone out in your head. I don't know how often you need to call home, but I usually call back home during the weekend, and I just keep them updated via text messages throughout the week. Since you've moved abroad, you now have your own life going for you. You are the master of your path. You make your own decisions. Your parents aren't there to tell you what to do. So this might be quite scary in the beginning because you are just sort of like dropped alone and you're expected to do a lot of things by yourself. But hey, that's part of the process and that's also part of being an adult. So what you could do is also find ways to stay busy, because I find that the more occupied you are or the more things you have going on, your mind doesn't have the time to dwell on like sad and negative feelings, because the mind's very noisy. And if you have like nothing to do, for me especially, like a lot of thoughts come into my head, and negative thoughts or like things that make me worry, and then it just makes me feel a lot worse. Versus when I have a lot of things going on, when I have side projects going on, people to meet, I do not have time to dwell on like sad feelings, and so I just feel a lot better. Since you're abroad in a new environment, a new place, you could try to find new hobbies. What is like the activity to do in that city? For example, I'm in Paris, and so like museums and exhibitions and restaurants are a thing, so that's what I try to do. Or before that, when I was in Compiègne, sports was a huge part of the city and a lot of my friends were doing it. You should also try to take yourself out on dates. Like, do something for you. Like, just take yourself out, buy yourself a flower, buy yourself like a beer, a cup of coffee. Just do whatever you want for you alone. And the more you start doing this, I know it might seem weird in the beginning, but the more you start doing this, you realize that you have this happiness that is a lot different from what you're used to feeling. And what I mean by that is, when you spend more time alone and when you take the initiative to enjoy your own company, you realize that that happiness that you feel is like on another level, and it's the best form of happiness because it comes from within. It is not influenced by other people, or it's not influenced by external factors. It comes from within, and that's like the most precious form of happiness that you can have. Also, on the theme of staying busy, once you're in a new place, you should try to make friends, that meet new people. I feel like it is so refreshing. It changes your ideas on things, and humans are social creatures, and it always feels nice to be around people. At least that's how I feel. And when you meet new people, you discover like things that you have never been exposed to before, or like topics that you've never even thought of before, and that's what makes life so interesting. I'm someone that likes to be around people, and I like to make new relationships with people, and that just gives me a lot more meaning to life. What I used to do when I arrived in Paris 2 years ago and I did not know anyone here, I downloaded Bumble BFF, which is basically this application that you can use to meet new friends. And so I matched with a few girls who had sort of like the same interests as I did. I went on my Bumble BFF date, and that was one of the best things that I did in Paris, because I got to meet the most amazing girls who are still my friends till this day. Like, I've actually managed to forge real friendships out of an app, something that I never thought was possible. And so when I came back to Paris for the second time, I did not feel alone anymore because I've made my friends here. So it feels like home, because this is where all my good friends are. Obviously, you want to be careful as well. Like, please take care of yourself. Be careful with who you exchange information with. Be careful with where you meet people. Always try to meet up with people in crowded places during daytime, especially for like coffee or something. Most of the time, you also meet international students who are in that city, and so that also gives you guys something to bond on. But honestly, 100% recommend Bumble BFF. I've met the most amazing girls that I love. Some who have left Paris that I just can't wait to see again, because I love you guys. The final thing that I have for you guys is to create a memory book. So the concept is sort of similar to the photo wall, where you gather a few pictures, you arrange it as you wish, add a text wherever you want, and you can get it printed via one of those applications. I think Cheers has that option as well. So my friend Chloe offered me a book for my birthday, which was like a month before I was leaving Paris for the first time. And she knew how much I loved my time there and how sad I was to be leaving. And I can't tell you guys how many times that book helped me whenever I was feeling down once I had moved away. I would just flip through the photos and a smile would just come back onto my face, because photos hold so much of power. You capture how you felt in that moment of time, and that's something that no one can take away from you. And so it gives you so much of comfort and has a lot of power to make you feel better when you're feeling down and sad. That's all for this video, guys. Thank you for watching, and if you did like it, please do click on the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that would mean the world to me. And let me know how you cope with dealing with homesickness in the comment section down below. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in my next video. Ciao!